Hello and welcome to Checkpoint on Campus, your home for collegiate esports. I am your host, Jacob Brothers, and joined with me, as always, is Erica Sedora. Erica, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty okay, Jacob. How are you doing today?
I am doing just peachy. And for today's show, obviously you guys want to hear what's in our queue. We have we're having a talk with Victor Gomez, the head of Seton Hall Esports, talking about the 2021-22 EGFC MAAC-BIG EAST Challenge. Then we're going to be talking about the Verizon Collegiate Esports Series Invitational. You know it, you love it. Then we're going to have a little first-person shooter preview review. And then we're going to be wrapping up with me holding everyone hostage to talk about Sonic. All of that in today's show. Coming up, let's have a show.
Let's go. Let's energize your future with experiences that empower possibility. At Oakland University, at the heart of every program lies a pathway to self-discovery, where you'll learn by doing, whether it's in a lab, on a field, or in a community, where you can pursue your passions and be a part of something meaningful. So let's go beyond traditional thinking and discover your purpose. Learn more at oakland.edu/support.
Greetings and welcome back to Checkpoint on Campus. Jacob Brothers is still here, and Erica Sedora is still there. And we're going to be talking about the EGFC MAAC-BIG EAST Challenge with a very special guest, with Victor Gomez, who's the esports manager for Seton Hall Esports. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I was learning about this whole tournament, and there's been a lot going on. They've had several weeks of play. They have like 2 different tournaments on the way. And so my opening question to you is, tell us about Seton Hall's performance in these tournaments. Like, what games have they been playing? How have they been doing? How's your program been feeling about these tournaments?
Sure. So the challenge originally began as a Rocket League tournament, and that was last year. We won that, so we love to see it.
Fantastic.
This year, it was still Rocket League, but we split it up into 2 phases. So the first phase was this semester, and the next phase will be in January. So fall is Rocket League, and spring is Super Smash Brothers. We just announced our Super Smash Brothers team this semester, so we're very excited. It's a period of growth and learning for them. First time going in up against Division I schools, so we're excited to see how they do. As for our Rocket League side, we were matched up against Iona, and we handily won, so very happy about that. Nothing against Iona, just always feels good.
Of course, it feels good to be a winner. Yeah, so with Smash in particular, because I know that space is only growing more and more. Does your team do they feel prepared for this mountain that they're about to come up against?
I would say that they're getting ready for it.
Okay.
Again, it's very different to go from weeklies with in-house weeklies. We're a very small campus, about 10,000 undergraduate students, and from those we get about 150 who come out on a weekly basis to come in and compete.
Moving into this new scene, how do you think this new environment inspires healthy competition in your own side?
So it teaches our students, 1, to grow, and 2, to make alliances wouldn't be the right word. Friends in other campuses. And the best example of this is we actually faced Iona earlier in the year in Super Smash Brothers. We handily lost back then. But the players took it upon themselves to reach out and say, hey, you guys were really good. Can we scrim? So Iona scrimmed against our players, and they've been going back and forth and making friends. So one of the biggest advantages of collegiate esports is, more so than any other scene in esports, you're very much easily connectable, because everyone is first name, last name at school.edu or some variation of it. So it's very easy to reach out, get in contact with each other. They're all in one Discord for EGFC. They're currently fighting in a virtual snowball fight with over 3,000 snowballs thrown so far on that server. So it's healthy for them to have some fun, de-stress, but also to get better at networking with other people.
That's great, because at the end of the day, you're playing video games, right? It'd be great if you're having fun while playing the video games. So I love to hear that. But truth be told, the most fascinating thing to me about this is the Division I exclusivity. So would you say that having a tournament? Well, I guess let me start here, because I know that a lot of the bigger schools that have been the most dominant schools are traditionally not Division I. So it's most D1 schools have been putting their money towards traditional sports have been doing for them. Schools that didn't have that grandiose would then go towards esports, and then they were able to like find that niche before it really started to blow up. And so, do you think that having a tournament like this be only Division One exclusive? Do you feel like that is a strength for schools that are Division One schools, or should they be more mingled with the other divisions?
So I would say it's both. It's both, honestly. On one end, it shows a new wave of initiative. So um, in 2014, when I was a student and starting off with collegiate esports, Division One schools wouldn't dream of touching esports, as you said, right? So it's showing of that growth, but also it shows that there can be a genuine interest and support structure from institutions that are Division One, which I think bodes well for the environment as a whole as collegiate esports grows. We saw that with traditional college athletics, right? D1 basketball is D1 basketball because those schools put in that money, that time, and that investment. So conferences like the Big East and the MAAC putting in that time and investment really show the students, hey, that's something that we should care. And by proxy, the general public and their parents, hey, this isn't just, little Timmy playing Rocket League until 12 a.m. because he has nothing better to do. Little Timmy might be a professional Rocket League player. And as an example of that, I offer up one of our students, Paulie Santoro, better known by his in-game name Stokely. He plays professionally for RBG Esports, and he came to our school because he saw our competition. He got reached out to by our students. They play together. They love to play. And the allure of Seton Hall is one, our campus and our academics for sure, but that D1 title also brings with it a huge allure to parents and students, right? So I think that it's a showing of a new phase of collegiate esports, but I do think that we do suffer in terms of breadth of competition. A Harrisburg, for example, would be a good example of this, right? Harrisburg are undisputedly the kings of the East in terms of esports structure, I would say, because since I was in college, that's the name that I heard. That was the standard. And Harrisburg didn't really have traditional athletics. That's why they put all their funds into esports. Um, but now we're seeing schools like Stockton, Butler, um, all the West Coast schools, but that's a lot easier because they're closer to game developers. But on the East, we're seeing a huge rise, particularly in Rocket League again, in powerhouses.
Well, the best news is that the competition is alive and well, and there's only going to be more
Yeah.
schools that join the picture. And the more schools there
Correct.
are, the better the scene is. So I personally can't wait for the future. So for the EGFC MAAC-BIG EAST Challenge, Rocket League will be happening at the end of January. So best of luck to you guys in that tournament. And this has been great. So Victor Gomez, thank you so much for coming on, and we wish your program the absolute best going forward.
Sure. So a quick correction on that one.
Oh, yep.
Rocket League already happened. The Big
Oh,
East one.
Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers
Yes,
is coming
Smash
Jan-
Brothers is happening at the end of January. So best of luck to your young bucks. Ready to climb that mountain.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And coming up next, we're going to be talking about the Verizon Collegiate Esports Series Invitational after this. Hello, once again. Jacob Brothers is still here. Eric Isidore is still there across our super long metaphorical desk. And we are talking about the Verizon Collegiate Esports Series Invitational, which touched on Wild Rift, the League of Legends mobile game. So, Erica, what can you tell us about this whole event?
First, Wild Rift is an insane game. I'm really excited that we have a collegiate scene in it now. But I want to start off by saying congratulations to University of Washington for winning this entire tournament. They had 16 colleges compete for 10K. The first place got 4K, second place got 3K, and fourth place and second place got 2K and 1K. The top three schools were invited to the Verizon Code Red, and while these 2 days felt super short, these games were intense. We had University of Washington go 2-0 against Berkeley, and all of these games were either double elimination round robin or best of one and best of three. Wild Rift is a really crazy game. Jacob, have you heard about Wild Rift?
All I know is that it's the mobile game. So, yeah, I'd love for you to explain how they're different.
Um, Well, let's start off with cosmetics first because you have this
That is
like
the most important
really,
piece.
yeah, this really integrated PC game with League of Legends, and then suddenly you have a mobile game. You have to have all the, I mean, everything that you have in League of Legends into this really tiny screen. And while all of the champions look beautiful and they act mostly the same, the champion pool is actually quite small compared to League of Legends. It's around 70 now compared to
Oh.
161 in League of Legends. And because of that, they really have to shrink the abilities and what the game can really offer. I can go like for days about this, but
Wait,
the
so
intricacies, yeah.
from the crowd. So all of the champs aren't in the game.
No, only like
I did not
61.
know that. So for as far as it being an esport, wouldn't that change the game like dramatically?
It does change it dramatically. When you watch this tournament and when you watch LCS or the Academy or collegiate players, you can see that while they have the same motives, the objectives are entirely different. You don't have the objective system that just came out, you don't have any dragons, and you don't have item activation, which really plays a big part in League of Legends. I think of it as like a little what is the best word?
A
Heroes
little
of
like,
Storm?
okay, be careful where you tread, but okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. You just gotta see it to believe it, Jacob.
Well, hopefully this app doesn't die. Okay, so I guess super important question for me is Gnar in the game?
No, Nara's not in the
Okay, so
game.
this game's garbage. I'm kidding, but that does upset me a lot to not have the best character in the game.
Oh my
No, no,
god.
no. But actually, about the game itself, so mobile esports on a collegiate level, there's been like three things I've ever heard.
Mhm.
Do you think that Wild Rift is going to have a chance to thrive, if not dominate, the mobile game environment as far as esports go?
I honestly, I'm very excited for the future of them, but I am like true League of Legends fan. I like it on the PC. I like seeing the whole competitive side of it, and because it's so limited on Wild Rift, it doesn't really bring out what League of Legends is about and how you feel about League of Legends. I feel like having the whole PC experience really makes the game, whereas Wild Rift really has to just make its own culture because it's so new. So I'm excited about it, but I'm unsure about it. Do you know what I mean?
I do. It'll probably be a more positive experience since your teammate isn't typing to you. But yeah. And so yeah, so this was the Verizon Collegiate Esports Series Invitational. I assume there will be more Wild Rift things that pop up, especially now after this tournament. I've seen some stuff professionally, but I'm sure with Collegiate it will continue to grow. And Riot, you need to add Gnar. That's all I'm saying. Add Gnar in your tournaments will rocket to new heights. That's all I'm saying. That is the Invitational. Coming up next after our big break highlight, we're going to be talking about your first-person shooter preview review after this.
And he just couldn't get around for the dish. Now Omar, another win by T. Corral. Don't see that very often against Omar. It worked this time. Now Lion Blaze, up high, down in front for T. Corral, who does it again.
Oh my goodness, the sustained pressure here from Northwood finally gets to the Lion Blaze with 2 critical wins.
For more gaming clips and news, be sure to check out checkpointxp.com.
Fear not, citizens. Hope has arrived because we are here. And we are here to give you your weekly preview review. And this time it happens to be all first-person shooter games. Isn't that fun? So the tournaments that we usually talk about have not happened yet. Both Overwatch League and Rocket League will all be happening in January. So starting with you, Erica, tell us what we need to know about CSGO.
Well, again, this is a mouthful. The Face It Collegiate CSGO Championship Series. The registration is still open. It actually began December 8th and it will close January 31st, 2021. Make sure you are registered and you are a verified collegiate player. This is a big deal. And in order to register, you have to go to fce.gg at collegiate verification. Please do that. And while CSGO is kind of in a lull right now, they finished back-to-back tournaments. We have the spring series that starts February 5th around 3 p.m. So take a look at that, and that is pretty nearby actually. We're kind of ending this year really fast.
Yeah, time is a hell of a drug. Things are ending. It's kind of scary. Well, tournaments are ending. Let's preface that. So the other thing that we're talking about today is Halo, and the future for Halo just keeps getting brighter. At some point, it's going to blind us. I don't know when. We just had our first collegiate Halo tournament, and it was freaking baller. It was Ryerson taking on the University of North America, which we're not going to call UONA because that's a great thing to call them. The UONA Dragons, I think it's fire. But Ryerson did beat UONA 3-0. And so besides being the champs, Ryerson also won the name game, which to me is the more important game to win. The players on this team are named Risky, Shatter, Double Clutch, and Disloyal Dog. I mean, if you have a lineup with those names, you're probably not going to lose. And that's exactly that's what I'm saying. And that's exactly what Ryerson did. They never dropped the game. When they went into the finals, they did have a map advantage because they came from the winner's bracket, but the winner's bracket was also Ryerson against Uona. So Ryerson did beat Uona twice, 3-0, which sounds a little rough, but Uona did a good job. You could see the cogs turning in the machine. They were able to set up proper strategy, and they won rounds convincingly when they did win rounds, but Ryerson won all of the games. So, for example, in game 1 of the finals, it was oddball. One of the rounds, Uona, they had a great strategy. They were taking the ball, they were throwing the ball towards the middle, and they would just cycle the ball to make sure that Ryerson couldn't get it. And so that way, when Uona would have it for a couple seconds, they would get points, and then no one would get points, and then they'd get the ball again, get a little bit of points, and that cycle would continue, and that cycle worked. And then Ryerson would eventually break that setup, and they would just win that map. And then for map 2, because since it was already a map advantage, there was only 2 games that happened in the finals. Game 2, Live Fire Slayer was kind of the more interesting story. So Live Fire is one of Uona's better maps, and they're a better Slayer team. So you would think that Live Fire Slayer, Uona would win this. And that's what was happening for the first half of the match. They were rotating well, they were getting their picks, and then they just kind of got a little overzealous. They had control of tower, which for Live Fire, for those who do not know, the tower is all the way in the back. That's looking at the power weapon. That is the best place to be on that map. You control all 3 lanes. You are in control of everything that's going on. And so Uona had that setup. And then they said, what if we just rotate off of tower to go get a camo? Which the camo's good, but it's not give up the best point of the map good. And so they rotated off of that. So Ryerson just went into the tower, killed them before they could use the camo, and then Ryerson just continued the control of the tower for the entire match, and then Ryerson won. Uona did have a chance to get back into the game. They were able to get a sniper and a camo, but at that point Ryerson was just in control, and they just kind of dunked on him, and they just kind of, I guess, crumbled on top of them, basically. And so that mistake did costing them the match. And in that final game, Risky went 14-11-5, and Double Clutch went 21-5-8. So some pretty dominant performances from this team. 32 teams in total competed for the event. It was a huge success. They've actually already announced their next tournament. Oh, also special shout out to Ottawa University. They got 3rd place in the tournament, which, Ottawa has now shown up in the top 3 spots of 2 major first-person shooter games. Maybe they have found their niche. Who knows?
What is in the air there, wow.
Honestly, for COD and Halo, the 2 games that are mortal enemies, they can control both. That's great. That's so great. But so the next tournament will be happening on December 27th with a prize pool of $500, and the signups are open now. So for more info, go check out College Halo GG on Twitter. And that is your preview review. And coming up next is the best segment of all time, where we talk about Sonic.
No, we don't come to play. Nah, hey, no, we don't come to play. Where we walk and where we talk, they know we don't come to play.
It is officially the most wonderful time of the year. You can see what I'm wearing. We got our boy, and our time is now. I have grinded to the metaphorical top, so that way I could talk about Sonic and force people to listen to me. So here we are. So last week we had the Sonic movie and Sonic Frontiers mentioned. We'll talk about Frontiers first, because it didn't show that much. They showed Overworld, and they confirmed that it's going to be an open world or open zone game, which is either really good or really bad. It'll really depend on what Sega does. Excuse me, because a lot of fan games will do open world design. They make it based all around momentum, which makes sense because you're fast. And Sega goes, what if we just didn't do that? So I don't know what this game's going to entail. Maybe you hit the dash button, you just run straight. Who knows? But it's going to be open world, and it is at least a new step for Sonic Frontiers, going into a new frontier. Now, the real thing that we're here to talk about is Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is going to be the best thing ever. It's just going to be great. We got Tails, we got Knuckles, and all the voice actors are the best that they could be. And the movie is honestly going to be really good. And the main reason why I think that is because they went straight to the use of the Master Emerald. And no one's really talking about this. I don't know why, but going the route of the Master Emerald actually changes everything. So, think about it. If you're making a movie and you're like, okay, we're going to introduce Tails, we're going to introduce Knuckles. It's like the Chaos Emeralds existed before the Master Emerald. And so if you're making a movie, you would think, well, let's just have them get the Chaos Emeralds. But one, Knuckles is a guardian of the Master Emerald, so that wouldn't make sense. But two, that's how you derail a movie. Go, here's 2 characters, go find 7 rocks. That's just not going to work in a movie. And so you go the route of the Master Emerald, which makes Knuckles being in the movie makes sense, and it keeps the canon intact, which we all care about. But more importantly, it confirms pretty much supersonic, because canonically, Sonic can go super with only the Master Emerald and not all 7 Chaos, or besides all 7 Chaos Emeralds. So we get supersonic, most likely, which is the best thing that anyone could ask for. It's the dream. Supersonic was introduced in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, so it's all lining up. The red strings on my board are all connected. It's happening. But another great thing is that the Master Emerald existing has advanced the Sonic movie universe dramatically ahead. We have now skipped at least like 5 movies that could have happened. Because now with the Master Emerald, that puts us in the Sonic Adventure category. Because the Master Emerald is involved in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. So that means it is very likely that Shadow will be shown at the end of Sonic 2. So you go into Sonic 3. Hey guys, here's Shadow. Here's Rouge. See this Master Emerald? It's broken. They're going to find it. The moon's going to blow you up. Have fun. And there's Sonic 3. It's all there. And so the future is bright. I'm very excited. And it's going to be a great movie.
Jacob, can I ask you one thing?
Absolutely.
Is Shadow in this movie and this game? Shadow the Hedgehog?
Shadow is not in this movie, but I think he's going to be revealed at the end of it. So that way
I
he'll
might
be
flip this table.
So I'm thinking that he'll be a main character in Sonic 3. Because what are they going to do? Reveal Amy Rose? No, they're not going to do it.
What's wrong with Amy Rose?
Amy is great. I love Amy, but do we really need Alvin and the Chipettes, situation?
Yes.
I don't think we do. Now, if you can do that later, sure, whatever. But if you have the opportunity to introduce Shadow, and Rouge at the same time to do I don't know, the moon is actually a cannon to blow up the Earth. I think you go that route. I think there's too much good stuff to pass up there.
I guess. So in that sense, are you expecting Silver or Blaze the Cat to be in this?
That would be in Sonic 5. That'd be the 5th Sonic movie.
Okay, I'm just being hopeful.
Yeah. Blaze is she is the coolest female lead of all time, and she needs to be in these movies. At some point, she will.
True.
But that's down the road. But hey, since Master Emerald's there, it's literally all on the table. So the future is bright. If anyone wants to talk to me about Sonic at any time, I am on Twitter at Jacob Brodoroki. I would love to talk to you. But with that, that is our show. Sonic is cool. Officially, he's way past cool again. We hope you enjoyed watching this week's show. For more, check us out on checkpointxp.com. Remember that we will always and forever love you. Have a great week.